Welcome to the channel. I'm Caleb. This is my Criterion Corner. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about Alien Romulus. I have to say, it is an alien movie. Does it suck? Is it better than the other ones that just recently came out? Let's talk about it. The movie takes place after Alien and before Aliens. I recently saw both of them because I hadn't seen them before. Don't fucking shoot me. And I definitely say this movie is better than them in the extraterrestrial nature of the films, but the story is kind of sloppy. I'm not gonna bullshit, go around it. The story is not convincing. In this movie, we follow the main character, Rain, and her brother, Andy, who happens to be a synth, which her parents found at a mining compound on their planet. I do feel that showing us this little background info makes the characters much more relatable. But like I said, this is the story for Rain and Andy. So the other characters that we're gonna meet later in the film, they don't really have that much context about them. So I didn't really care when they passed away on screen. I just feel like this friend group doesn't have the right dynamic to make me feel worried for any of the characters when something bad would happen on the screen. I'm not gonna say that that's a bad thing, but it was just a little worrisome, being how good Alien and Aliens was. The character selection and the dialogue and script for those two movies was just so great that maybe I'm putting this movie at a higher echelon than it should be, but it's just not convincing. And like I said, the dialogue and the script aren't really its strong suit. And it's an Aliens movie, so I'm gonna give it a little break. It's not supposed to be an Emmy Award winner, but the script is a little redundant and it's annoying at times. Dialogue and the script aren't really its strong suit, but it does enough for us to understand why the characters are doing what they're doing. I just feel that collectively we don't see their lifestyles on the mining compounds for all of the characters to make it feel much more relatable. The whole movie, the main character that I did not like was Bjorn, and how he treated Andy for most of the film. After a while, it just became baity, but they did give context as to why the character was treating Andy that way. I do love that. I wish that they would have held that status quo across the board for all of the other characters. That's my only gripe, because some of the characters don't really have context. They're just ploys for the aliens. Why do we have to revisit the past and pay homage the whole movie? That was annoying, and bringing such an integral character from the first movie back into this one just diminishes everything that the past movies have done, and trying to rewrite a new story. I feel like this movie is Alien and Aliens put together, making this like an Alien 1.5, especially with that character returning. I don't want to spoil the movie for anyone, but that was just redundant. Another point deducted for that reason, especially being that it's fucking CGI. Stop. You could have used a practical effect for that, but you wanted to use a practical effect for everything else. It's not clicking. The aliens, on the other hand, looked pretty crazy, and the kills are crazy as well. I liked using visual effects, CGI, and practical all in one. I feel like that's the only way how you're gonna get a good alien movie. But the aliens look crazy. They're definitely on screen a lot longer than any other movie that I've really seen or can remember. The first one's still a masterpiece, and they play on the fact that you don't really know what these things look like and it's in the shadows so well. And I feel like if they wanted to pay homage, and being that they have a horror director, they could have played with that more. But that's just me personally griping. The kills are pretty detailed. I don't want to spoil anything. They are crazy though, and that's the only reason why I was really happy about the movie, was for that reason. I did have a good time. But the pacing of the movie is very slow. It's kind of everywhere as far as the pacing. There are times where I'm just waiting for an action scene to go so we could break up this horrible dialogue. But it only happens a few times, so it gets a pass. But the final act of this movie is the icing on the cake. And it genuinely makes me think that they could have done a movie like the final act the whole time. They let Fede get a chain off and he could go loose. Let his imagination run wild with these crazy aliens. Being that you have a horror director, you should take advantage of it. I'm not expecting him to be able to create a crazy script though. So that's on me. But the third act genuinely raises eyebrows in a good way because it's stuff that we haven't seen in the Alien IP ever. I wish the whole movie was like that. I'm gonna keep repeating myself. We see things that I don't even want to talk about in the third act because that's the main reason why people are going to see this movie. If they're judging the movie like I am and they've seen the other originals and we know what alien movies are about, at this point it's becoming a cash grab, but I don't really care. Make a good movie. Showed us everything. It connected the story well. I do wish that some more characters survived. And I wish that we saw even more strange shit that we've never seen, being the way how this movie ends. It could be in a one-off world. I don't want to spoil anything, but there were restraints throughout the first hour of the movie that I felt didn't have to be there. It kind of brings the movie back a little bit, and we just keep getting pulled back to the past, and it's not giving itself its own wings. For that reason, I'll be giving it a 3 out of 5. I would recommend going to watch it. It's definitely a summer blockbuster. Don't go in looking for a solid script. This is not an Emmy Award winner or Oscar worthy film, but it is a good film. 3 out of 5. I'm not being extremely harsh on it. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5, but like I said, we don't have to keep going back to the past. This is 2024. What are we doing? Okay. Thanks for stopping by. I will see you all next week with another movie review or a video talking about the movies that I've watched this month or this week. Get used to me. I'll be here all the time. DM me, follow me on Letterboxd. Have a great one.